What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I want to start this video by just saying I really hope that this one gets traction. I need this one to get out there because I am so tired of listening to everybody talk about how terrible the situation is with scalpers and in bots and all that stuff, and nobody is offering any solutions. And so in today's video, I'd like to offer a solution. And like I said, I hope that this makes it to the... I want this one to go viral. I need this one to go viral. Because I think that in one fell swoop, the Pokemon Company and Nintendo can knock out the Pokemon problem overnight. The card like that. And it's a few steps. I mean, it's so I just want to preface this video with just the quick statistic that since 1996, almost 90 billion cards have been printed, and about half of those have been printed in English. So 45 billion cards in North America printed. Well, it says English. So everywhere else, so I know that they have printed cards in Portuguese, Spanish, German, French, things like that. So 45 billion in English, and so that's going to USA and Canada and probably some other places in Europe. But the other 45 billion is everywhere else. So half are coming here to the US primarily, and the other half are going to the rest of the globe. And we still have empty shelves and things like that. So, number one thing that I would implement... Okay, so let me just start. IGN wrote an article, and it's an article about how Nintendo is kind of involved in this now, and what they say they're gonna, what the Pokemon Company is doing to implement changes to fix the issues to meet demand. And one of the things they say on here is that they are hold on, let me see if I can find it on here. Made to order items. And so what they mean by that is that the way it's described in this article, the made to order, is that at any time you can just go online and go to the Pokemon web, go contact the company and order product for retail, but you'll get it when you get it, essentially, because they have to fulfill all these other orders. It's just a way, they say it's a way to ensure that you'll just get your product. But then doing some more digging on that, it's not that simple. In fact, it's super convoluted, and it's just another method for bots to be able to get their hands on stuff. Because what it's referring to in this article with the made to order is the Pokemon Center email notification lottery system that you can, and the pre-orders. So if you can make it to if you can get a pre-order, that's what they're referring to as made to order. By just saying, oh, you got to the pre-order, so you got the pre-order. Now you might not get it when everybody else, when it launches on its, on its date, But you're guaranteed product if you can get the pre-order, or if you get the email notification for the lottery, which is just they give you a special code so that you have early access to the pre-orders, then you're guaranteed product. And I'm like, well, no, duh, it's a pre-order. But, so like I said, with that in mind, with that being said, this is what I would do to implement changes that would actually fix the problem. Number one, no more online sales. Off the chart, like off the table, right off the rip. PokemonCenter.com is no longer a merchandise outlet for Pokemon cards. They can still do all their other merchandise and all that stuff through Pokemon Center, because that stuff doesn't move like Pokemon cards, obviously. That's number one. Get rid of all online sales. What they would need to do instead is either erect their own shops and have physical locations, physical Pokemon Center locations that you can go to during pre-order, like, and stand in line and pre-order something at a register with an employee, and it's tied to your name, your account, your email, whatever they need to do to ensure that you just get one pre-order. That would completely eliminate bots right there. Bots out the window. Pre-order limits right there in person. Done. They could have stock on the shelves. Another thing they could do if they didn't want to like build their own buildings and then open shops and hire people, is they could enter into business deals, like partnerships with places like GameStop or Best Buy, where you still have to, they have a Pokemon Center kiosk in the store where you go and pre-order an item that is being manned by an employee at that store, so that you can't just stand in front of it and keep pre-ordering and keep pre-ordering and keep pre-ordering, like we saw with the Pokemon Center machines, where people were getting shot and attacked and just all sorts of terrible things like that. By getting rid of those kiosks, or getting rid of the vending machines, was a good start. But let's just have a kiosk that's behind a counter, that somebody is like a manned station where they can take your pre-orders, and then they can have stock there, like behind the counter or wherever it's got to be. Have a Pokemon Center area where you walk up and you want to buy something, you tell them what you want. You can have one of each SKU or whatever, and it's all attached to your Pokemon Center account too. So you can't just have like 100 accounts. You can't just stand there and be like, okay, well, now on this account number, blah, 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 now I want this, that, and the other. They can just say, no, you've already been served today, you can leave. And then put them on a timeout, like put them on a lockout, where that account with that name, with that person in that town, wherever it is, whatever they have to do, hey, this guy's on a lockout timer for 24 hours. He cannot come back until tomorrow and buy more product. We're solving the problem, okay? Everybody wants to just talk about how much of a problem it is. Nobody wants to talk about any type of solutions. And I know these are extreme solutions, but people are literally getting shot. There was an incident where a 14-year-old boy had a gun drawn on him. Okay? So that's what we do. We get rid of online sales. We have in-person pre-orders only. We have in-person. And then the other thing that the Pokemon Company needs to do too is places like GameStop, they need to say, if you're getting product from us at wholesale, you are not allowed to sell it above MSRP. And they need to do the same thing with card shops. And there needs to be some accountability and say, if you're not going to follow this guideline, then you're not allowed to sell our product anymore. Like that's it. Like we won't give you any more product. Now, if you're going to buy product from somebody and then put it back on your shelf at market, that's on you, and that's between you and the customer. But if you want product from us, you have to sell it at MSRP. You're not allowed to sell it above MSRP. Make them sign a contract. Make them have to do something like that, and then, like I said, that will help. That would immediately alleviate the problem, right? I mean, we wouldn't have people standing in line. Like, you'd have people standing in line out in front of Best Buy and GameStop and Walmart and Target and all these places. You'd still have people standing in line. But I don't think it would be as bad. I think that would help with a massive, like, what do they call it? Pinch point, or choke point, because if real people were getting the pre-orders and more places just had the pre-orders available, and make the first 1,000 pre-orders or whatever, 10,000 pre-orders be Pokemon Center, with like the stamp, with what I mean, like the ETBs with the stamp on them or whatever. You can still make that a limited thing. Like the Pokemon Company can still make limited special edition items, but it would 100% ensure that no bot farms would be getting that. Those are just my thoughts. It's something like, I think I've talked about this in videos before, but I just, after reading this article and about how, like I said, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company talk about, we have this buy direct thing, and it's like, it's not a buy direct. Okay, I still have to get lucky enough to make it through the pre-order process. I've tried to get product through PokemonCenter.com, and I've been kicked every time out of the queue for being a bot with just my phone in hand. They said that I'm a potential bot, and I've been kicked out of the line. I've had my Pokemon Center registered account be banned and suspended and stuff like that, because for some reason they just think I'm a bot. Like, their system that they implemented to catch bots, I get caught in it. Like, every time. I've been successful one time, and that was during Black and White. The Black Bolt and White Flare. Sorry, my light's dying. I'm going to wrap this up anyway. Like I said, those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments, and make sure you like, subscribe, and please pass this on. We'll see you in the next video. Have a good night.